Right, yeah. So my name is Quresh Fida Hussain. I'm the founder and director of Zara Food Industries Limited. Thank you very much for all the candid conversations. I think we'll... So I'm sorry. Yeah, so thank you again. I definitely will go back with a lot to think about. And I think we've agreed that... I think I've understood that as a startup, maybe the board is a little bit too early. And so my question is, I'm a true believer of the board, but what is the next sort of best thing when you're not there yet? And then I also had a very sort of a technical question. What's the distinction between an advisory board and a real board? Because both of those have been talked about, and I'm not very clear as to what the differences are. Thank you, Quresh.
Thank you. I think when we started off, we talked about the different stages, the growth stages of a business. And we started off with the startups. So when you look at startups, usually, I know we've been asked not to say it's expensive, but usually the founders find that corporate governance is expensive because they think they have to pay the board members for their time. But you can actually have an advisory board. This board could actually be a group of experts that are willing to provide advice to the founder and the business at no cost in some cases, or they would also be able to be available sometimes in a very ad hoc way, because, you know, as a startup, waiting for maybe a whole quarter to be able to consult may not be feasible. However, when you now professionalize and now you have a full board in place, there's a structure in place. There's a full structure in place. Usually that board will have a board charter that talks about how often they should meet, what their terms are. And at this point, you are professionalizing. So just the way you have segregated roles and responsibilities at the management level, you've actually put in place terms and conditions or guiding themes for the board of directors. So they are more or less the same, both the advisory and the board of directors. It's just that when we talked about it and we looked in particular at the different growth levels of the business, our suggestion was that as a startup, especially when the founder is involved in every aspect of the business, that advisory aspect is what would work best at that level. And it would kind of also be the corporate governance that a startup would have in place.